Hey guys, this is Matt Powell. So one of the things that people point to oftentimes for proof of evolution is actually the solar system. And they'll say that the solar system proves that the Earth is 4.5 billion years old. But what I find interesting is if you actually look at the solar system and comets and stars in particular, you'll actually see that this idea that it's 4.5 billion years old is just completely bogus. It's just complete nonsense. And the reason that we know that is because stars actually die, they blow up about 1 per 25 years per galaxy. So we actually only find about 200 dead stars in our galaxy. And so what that proves is that our galaxy, the Milky Way, is less than 10,000 years old. Because if it were billions of years old, we would have hundreds of thousands of dead stars in the galaxy. But since there's less than 200 and only 1 per 25 years dies, that literally proves beyond any shadow of doubt that our solar system is young just based on star deaths.
Giant molecular clouds are the birthplace of stars, and this is its most detailed simulation to date. The model begins with a 65 light-year wide cloud that has a mass 20,000 times that of our own Sun. Representing 9 million years of cosmic evolution, the model gives unprecedented insight into star formation and can even be used to trace stars back in time to see where their mass came from.
Because according to the Big Bang theory, the Big Bang, produced hydrogen and maybe some helium. Well, then how did we get all these other elements? Do you want me to believe uranium evolved from hydrogen? They'll say, well, yeah, fusion. You have fusion in stars. Yeah, but you can't fuse past iron very well. Number two, you got a chicken and an egg problem here because you have to have the stars to make the elements and the elements to make the stars. Which one came first? Which brings up, of course, stellar evolution. How did the stars form? Nobody's ever seen a star form. Scientists don't even have a clue how a star could form. No even good theories about star formation. We cover more on that on video 7. But we see stars blow up all the time. It's called a nova or a supernova if it's a big one. That happens all the time. But we never see one form. And yet there's enough stars out there that we know about that everybody on planet Earth, every single individual, can personally own 11 trillion stars to yourself. Those are the ones we know about. We don't know about the ones that we don't know about.
For millions of years, it says gravity drew the gases together and they condensed to form giant stars. Wow.
Yeah, don't get me started, bro.
Is that the way that it happened, Iger, you think?
Nah, bro, I think the stars were spoken into existence.
Is there evidence that you can achieve even a small, sustainable nuclear fusion reaction in the laboratory? We have a lot of machines that would make this possible, but we still can't do it. That's what a star is, according to their own theory, is a sustained fusion reaction where elements in the center of the star are fusing, letting off energy, which is producing the heat and the brightness that we see. Well, because the gravity is basically, the weight of it is causing these elements to fuse together, that's how it has sustained itself. The energy is trapped within the core of the star. So that's how the fusion is sustained. And the fusion laboratories that we have, you cannot sustain the fusion. You can produce fusion like artificial gold, but it's going to be a very small amount, and it's going to cost a lot more to make the gold than it would be to just dig it out of the earth and sell it. So it's not practical at all, and it's not sustained. So if there's nothing that we can do with all of our advances in science to sustain a fusion reaction, how is it that they all condensed in the vacuum of space to fuse together?
Yeah, that's really what gets me too is supposedly the sun is made out of helium, right? Is it made
Yeah.
out? All right, whatever gas is made out of, anyways. Like if you put gas in a vacuum, it's just gonna dissipate into nothingness. But how did it have gravity to begin with to pull the rest of the gas together towards the center? Where did this gravity? Where did the gravity to make these supposed stars come from to begin with? If you have a container of gas, let's say a balloon, and you open it, all the air is going to dissipate. So how did it form itself together to begin with? What caused it to form together if it's a big ball of burning gas?
Stellar evolution is a giant bogus lie, because if it all started from a single point and expanded to something that's billions of light years across or whatever, well, how's it coming back together? Even if it wasn't a gas, if it was just dust, how's it ever going to come back together? It's dumb.
And so comets also are deteriorating over time. Short period ones in particular, they orbit the sun every 200 years, and they burn up 3 to 5% each orbit. And so they can't be here from more than 10,000 years ago because they would have burnt up by now. And so short period comets literally prove that the solar system is young as well. So stars and comets both prove that the solar system is not billions of years old, and that you were lied to when somebody came to you and said that the Earth was billions of years old, or the solar system was billions of years old, and that evolution was somehow a fact. Folks, if evolution were true, there would be hundreds of thousands of dead stars in our galaxy and in other galaxies. But when we look at other galaxies, we see that there's only a few hundred dead stars. When we look at our galaxy, only a few hundred dead stars. If one dies per 25 years, it literally proves beyond any shadow of doubt that the galaxy that we are in is a young galaxy, and that we didn't have enough time to evolve from an amoeba all the way to humans. It's just absolutely ridiculous. You can just throw the theory away, throw the hypothesis of evolution away. It's so easily falsifiable. Now, the way that evolutionists will actually try to fix this problem is through what's known as the Oort cloud. They think that there's some Oort cloud that is literally spiraling new comets into our galaxy right now as we speak. And the craziest thing is, if you actually type in on Google Oort cloud evidence, the first thing that pops up is that there is no evidence that the Oort cloud exists. So they believe things without evidence. Evolution is a position that is defended against all reason and held to in spite of all reason. They don't care what the facts are, folks. You bring these things up to them, and they'll just say, oh, well, the Oort cloud is spiraling new comets. So the ones that deteriorate, that's okay because we've got new ones coming in. They don't even have an answer for the star problem. They don't have the answers. So why? But it's funny because these are the people that want to tell you that the Bible has errors in it and there's no evidence for the Bible. And they complain to me all the time. They beg me in the comment section, Matt, we need evidence, Matt. Please give us evidence and answers. Why don't you turn the mirror on yourself? There's no evidence for the Oort cloud according to the scientists that are out there that even invented it. Dr. Oort, the man who invented it, literally knew there was no Oort cloud. He just made it up. He just made it up out of thin air, and people talk about it like it's a fact, like it's really out there, but there's no evidence for it. It's a position that's impossible to defend, honestly. God bless, guys.